We might be familiar with FDR's New Deal pulling the US out of the Great Depression, but did you know that before he became president, he was living in a mansion as part of high society? Hi everyone, Ken here. Welcome to this house. In 1882, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, also known as FDR, was born into an incredibly wealthy family. His father, Squire James, was a successful businessman, and his mother Sarah was an heir to her father's trading empire in China. His parents purchased an old, federal-style home in Hyde Park, New York, on 1 square mile of land, and updated it to the Italianate style. There, Sarah gave birth to FDR. He grew up in a mansion, playing with the neighboring Vanderbilt children and riding horses with the Astors. From a young age, he was inspired by the grand architecture of the palatial homes in Hyde Park, though, in college, he set aside his love for architecture, choosing to focus on law. After dropping out of Columbia College, he passed the New York bar and briefly worked as a lawyer. Around this time, his father passed away and he married his fifth cousin, Eleanor Roosevelt, and the two moved into Franklin's childhood home, known as Springwood. He quickly set out to update the home to a more current style, adding large wings to the house, essentially doubling its size. The brick and stucco mansion now featured a cohesive facade with ornate balustrade and grand porticos, though his original childhood home was left buried inside the new layout behind a fancy facade. As we explore the palatial estate, we will see a mix of new and old photos to give us the best idea of what it looked like when FDR called Springwood home. Passing through the oversized double doors, we arrive in the entrance hall, where a grand staircase with intricately carved newel posts twists around a hidden elevator. Before we explore upstairs, let's turn the other direction and head through the rounded archway. This leads us down a hall flanked by arcades, and while stairs had originally been planned to sweep below the door surround with a broken pediment, FDR was paralyzed from the waist down shortly after the house was completed, and the home was retrofitted to be wheelchair accessible. This brings us through a pair of double doors and into the library. FDR collected Americana, including diaries, paintings, and stamps. In fact, one of the main reasons he expanded the house was to create more rooms for storing his 1.3 million piece vintage stamp collection. Let's wind our way over to the dining room, where his mother's collection of fine china was proudly displayed for guests, with most of these pieces already being considered antiques long before they came into the family's possession. While we are here, we can take a peek behind the scenes to view the kitchen, where his live-in staff would have prepared the family's every meal. Next, we will peel back the curtains to reveal the drawing room, decorated with overstuffed furniture. The chairs, sofas, and curtains are all upholstered in the same floral patterns, something which was considered highly fashionable at the time. For all the large rooms, there are also smaller, more comfortable rooms, such as the south parlor, decorated with fine art and only a handful of chairs, cozied up to an ornate hearth. When FDR became president in 1933, he had an office added to the mansion to be somewhat reminiscent of the Oval Office in the White House. But this was separate from his study, which boasted unpainted, floor-to-ceiling built-in bookcases. And if we want to imagine where the real conversations happened in regards to the nation's trajectory, we can venture into the smoking room, where we can imagine FDR sitting down with prime ministers and kings to comfortably negotiate trade. Let's return to the stair hall and make our way up to the second floor to begin exploring some of the bedrooms. First, we will see FDR's childhood bedroom, which he reassigned to his own son. Then we will find the President and First Lady's bedroom, decorated with simple but stately furnishings against wallpaper, featuring a lattice overflowing with pink roses. Attached to this room is a small sitting room, which could also have been used as a study. And around the corner, we will find Eleanor's closet, perfectly organized. There are several more bedrooms on this level, some for children and some for guests, each carrying their own distinct themes. Let's make our way back into the second floor stair hall to find what was perhaps FDR's favorite room from childhood. The playroom is where FDR would have played with his siblings while his parents were hosting company, and this is where his children would have played when he and Eleanor were doing the same. While the family had many mansions scattered around North America, Springwood was the only place FDR ever called home. While in office, he pulled the country out of an economic disaster, created jobs, expanded infrastructure, and just as he was leading the U.S. to victory in World War II during his 4th term in office, he passed away. But before his passing, he struck a deal with the Department of the Interior so that Springwood, along with its collections of art and Americana, would be donated for public use so long as the family would be allowed to continue living there. When Eleanor passed away, she was buried on the estate grounds alongside her husband, who had chosen to rest between his family dogs. Today, Springwood continues to rest on roughly 1 square mile of land, with the estate being open to the public for tours. If you have ever been, I would love to hear about your experience, and if you have a favorite room, let me know down below in the comments section. And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.